Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a lens, a tiny lens here. This is the Laowa 7.5mm Zero Distortion lens for Micro Four Thirds. And so this is a cool lens because it's an ultra wide. It has a 15mm full frame equivalent, and it's also really fast. It has a maximum aperture of f2, and it is zero distortion, so it doesn't fisheye or have like really bowed or curved edges or lines, I should say. So it's a really great lens for doing real estate or any sort of architectural photography or video. And it's also relatively affordable. It's a $500. There's a couple versions of it. So I think they designed it this way to be flown on drones. So there's even a lighter weight version. It's maybe 30 or 40 grams lighter. You are killing me right now. Than this, and it's I think it's a little bit more expensive, and I think a different color too. But anyway, pretty cheap for a super wide angle, fast prime lens. I believe there's a full frame equivalent to this lens that Laowa makes for the E mount, and I think the Canon EF mount, and I think that's around like $900 to $1,000. So this is $500 for pretty much the equivalent lens. It's all metal. It seems pretty durable, and it's got a metal lens hood as well. And it has a 46mm filter thread. And the good thing about this is you see a lot of ultra wide angle lenses have a pretty bulbous front element. This one does too, but it's such a small lens, and they protrude past the front lens of the front of the lens. What are you doing? And so this one doesn't. So you can actually screw on a filter directly to the lens, and you don't need any adapter or anything like you do with a lot of full frame ultra wides. And you can see what I do with. Oh, here we go. I actually have a 77mm filter, neutral density filter, and I just adapted it with a 46mm to 77mm stepping ring. So this is pretty awesome here. Pretty funny looking, but gets the job done. So yeah, it's got some nice advantages to it. A couple of minor gripes, I would say, or really only one minor gripe, and I would say because it's so small, when you put it on to the camera, which is what you typically do, lenses, the aperture ring is right up against the base of the lens, and it can be hard to see what aperture you are on. I guess you could do it by feel. Especially with this cage here, the way it hangs over the top of the camera, you have to look at it from the side or peek over the top. And yeah, it's just a little bit like a little bit awkward to manipulate, but it's not the end of the world, I would say. And the filter thread, or the filter ring, is far enough away that you can operate that pretty easily. But with this wide angle, you don't really need to do a whole lot of adjusting mid-shot. And I guess another issue, since it is so small, I guess one thing I've had happen a lot is if you do try to adjust the focus, you might get your fingers into the shot. So, it does have a little bit of, it's a quirky little lens, but I mean, it really works well. I use it mostly for real estate video walkthroughs, and it's pretty sharp, and you can get really close to things, and you don't get that crazy bowing effect that you would do with most other ultra wide angle lenses. So yeah, it really is a nice lens for $500 if you use Micro Four Thirds cameras. I would highly recommend it. There are some 7mm alternatives. I think Panasonic and Olympus make a zoom that starts at 7mm. But those have, at least the Olympus one, yeah, I know does Panasonic even make one? Anyway, there is an alternative, and I know Olympus makes a zoom that's ultra wide, but it has that bulbous front element. So you would have to get some sort of adapter or different type of filter if you needed to put filters on it, which for video you pretty much need to. What else is there to say? I don't really have anything else to say about it. I just wanted to show it to you, and it's been a good lens for me. It's been definitely worth it. So I'll just show you some examples. I've used it a lot on real estate, but I've also used it for just straight up narrative type stuff when you needed a really wide angle of view, and it works pretty well for that too. So thanks for watching this. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you in another video, I suppose. Maybe.
And this is the fireplace.